I think another highlight for the season was probably the last game of the season, the Champions League final. It was built up as arguably one of the best games in football history, and I think, although it wasn't one of the best in the world, for example, I think it's certainly delivered in terms of the spectacle, the entertainment, the football and show. And I mean, Barcelona they set it up another notch from the 2009 final. I thought they were just outstanding.
They were brilliant, and you just got a sense from them that they didn't even really get out of second gear as well. They could have pushed it further if they needed to. Man United were always on the back foot. They snatched a goal totally against the run of play, and I thought this was going to make it really, really interesting. And all Barcelona did was push it into third gear, and off they went. And there was no way they weren't getting on that plane without that trophy.
I think it's scary to think that Man United is one of the best teams in England, if not Europe, and I had only one shot on target against Barcelona. I think you look back at the 2009 final, it was pretty much a copycat game. I mean, Man United started the better of the two, and then if Barcelona got into the stride, there was only one team in it. And I mean, you look at a player like Lionel Messi, and you try and find a way of stopping him, and you just can't.
No, I mean, I was always of the opinion, players like Messi, players like Ronaldo, they get a bit physical with him, give him a kick every now and again. But the guys, by the time you've swung the leg out, he's gone past you anyway, so you can't kick him.
We should move swiftly on to congratulate the winners of the playoffs. That'll be AFC Wimbledon, Stevenage, Peterborough and Swansea, who will have bagged a nice 90 million from beating Reading. 90 million, Johnny. That'll set them up for a lifetime, but
it's not like a fucking game of football, is it?
It certainly isn't, but I think it just goes to show how ludicrous money is. I mean, yeah, it's fantastic for a club like Swansea to be in the Premier League and to get that money, but 90 million, you just need to put that into perspective. 90 million.
You struggle to comprehend that kind of money for a football club, and they're just players kicking a ball. If you want to strip it down that much. 90 million pounds, it's bizarre, and it's so much riding on that one game of football. It's fascinating to watch.
It certainly is, and congratulations once again to those four teams. Right, the transfer window. We all love a good rumour. Even managers have got into the swing of the rumour mill. As Matt Hughes has left Fulham, Avram Grant's left West Ham, Julier's left on health conditions. I love this end of the season because all the rumours start flying about, and you want to see you're signing, but even you don't even know who your manager's going to be.
Absolutely, I mean it's great. I mean the football itself is great, and the spectacle. I mean, like the last day of the season, the relegation battle and all that was fantastic excitement. And then you think, what am I going to do over the summer? There's no football, but there's football every day. With this sort of the transfers going on and the managers, who's going to be your manager? Will he stay? Will he go? Will this player stay? Who's he going to go? How much are we going to get? Who are we going to get to replace him? And it's really, really exciting times.
It is really crazy to think that we're in the middle of a recession when clubs are still banking about loads of money. I mean, 30 million for Alex Sanchez to Man City if it goes through. I mean, you look at the deals that already have gone through. I mean, Jordan Henderson to Liverpool, 20 million. Plus, reportedly, Gavin and Gog, which would be lucky for Liverpool fans. Phil Jones to Man United for, I think, his release card was 16, but I think it's closer to 20 million, the real fee. Ashley Young looks like going to Man United. Stephen Joe called to Spurs. There's so many deals going about already, and the transfer window technically hasn't even opened.
It's bizarre, the likes of Jordan Henderson. No, he's a good player. Is he worth £20 million? The same sort of situation as Andy Carroll, worth 35. Liverpool have spent £55 million on two players, and I think if you're going to be spending that kind of money on two players, they need to be the two players that are going to win you the league or bridge that gap that gets you there or thereabouts. And if you look at those two players, can you say that about them? And I don't think you can. And that's just crazy money. And people say you pay a premium for English talent, but 55 million for two players is just a crazy amount of money.
Oh, I agree. I don't think that the other two sort of players that you've been needing to win the Premier League, but I think you've got to give credit to the new Liverpool investors for actually going for British talent. I mean, it's a refreshing change to see people actually focus on English or British-based players. I mean, Charlie Adams might be the next one. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, jury's out for me on Charlie Adams. I mean, he had a great first half of the season, and then there was rumours banging about where he was going, if he was going to move to Liverpool or Man United in the January transfer window, and then he didn't move, and then all of a sudden his performance is dipped, and you need a consistent performer, certainly if he's got to be in a team that's supposedly pushing for the title, and I don't think he's quite there.
I slightly disagree. I think it'd be a fine signing for someone like Liverpool. I think I think he's only 26, 25, something around that. He can improve. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans will say to the captain, the next Stevie Gerrard, which I think is a complete load of rubbish. But even like one deal like that, it's just interesting to think that you look at this big squad like Spurs, if they sold one player, like Luka Modric stayed linked with Man United, etc., etc. But I mean, you look at one player moving, it's like a domino effect throughout the whole of the entire league and throughout Europe. I think business will definitely be done throughout the summer, and I can't wait.
Absolutely. I mean, Sunderland have got 24 million from Darren Bent, they've got 20 million from Henderson. They've got an awful lot of money to spend. Newcastle have got 35 million to spend. Reported, there's rumours that Jack Rodwell will be leaving Everton for up to 25 million. There's an awful lot of money that's going to be spent, and there's going to be some big names moving this transfer window.
It certainly will. Hopefully we can keep tabs on all of that. But as I mentioned before, even the manager now moving around. I mean, Sam Allardyce has gone to West Ham. Matt Newell's installed at Fulham. I think it's nice to see Matt Newell back in English football. I mean, the way he left Spurs was atrocious, really. And I mean, Evan Grant was tried to pollinate at West Ham, so you can see why he left there. Aston Villa still looking for a new manager. I mean, Steve McLaren, the thought was going to be the man, but he was in talks with Aston Villa. But when he found out that the Aston Villa fans disapproved of the potential appointment, he actually pulled the plug on it, which I think is just disgraceful how you run a club like that.
Well, I disagree. I think ultimately it's the fans that are paying the wages, they're paying the players' wages, they're maintaining the stadium, they're paying for everything that goes on in the football club. And if the fans aren't happy, they might not come and watch their team, and if they don't come and watch, their team doesn't get their money. So I think it's a very, very wise decision actually for Andy Lerner to listen to his supporters on that.
I can't agree with you on that, because it's a chairman's club. He runs that football club. He should have the instinctiveness and be ruthless and appoint the man he thinks is right for the job.
I'm not arguing that point with you there, Paul, but you can appoint a manager of your team, and all of a sudden, your attendance is dropped by 5,000 because they don't want that man in charge. What are you going to do then? All that money's got to be made up from somewhere. And if you're not that successful on the field, which Steve McLaren, manager of Aston Villa, I don't think it would have gone down too well. I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have been challenging for anything. So, I think it's a good decision. I think he's been wise to listen to his supporters.
I tend to disagree on that one, but we should move on to the last point of the podcast, and Ronaldo. Well, Luis Ronaldo has played his last ever game for Brazil. It's a bit rare that players of that calibre get an international to mark the last game, but such as how good Ronaldo was in his pomp, then he deserves a stand-off like that.
He does. I mean, the guy is one of the greatest footballers ever to have played the game. His World Cup goal-scoring record, unparalleled. He's had a fantastic career. He's a bit rough around the edges now, carrying a few extra pounds, but obviously that happens when you get on a bit. And the guy is a credit to his country and a credit to football. I think everyone will wish him well in the future.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you look at the stats on his own. I mean, he played for PSV, Barcelona, both the Milan clubs, Real Madrid. And I mean, he started 343 games and scored 247 goals. This is only club level, remember. That's a goal every 1.4 games.
It's an incredible record.
And then international for Brazil, he got tapped 98 times. He scored 62. I mean, that is just incredible.
That is outstanding record. Unbelievable.
I mean, I used to love watching him play. I mean, I obviously grew up in the time where it was like Ronaldo, even Juninho was there. And Ronaldo was just unstoppable. I mean, if he was playing now, I still think he'd be as devastating as he was then.
Yeah, I mean, he's might have lost a bit of his pace over the years and that, but anyone would have him in their team without a shadow of a doubt. Quality player.
Well, in the world's best 11 back then, or even now, like you look at the world's best players, Ronaldo would definitely get in that starting 11, if not the bench even. But it's just sad how several injuries have affected him. I mean, he had 3 ruptured knee ligament injuries, which I can vouch for is not clever.
And I mean, well, it's part and parcel of football. Everybody gets injured, and he's unlucky to have had, repeat injuries on his knee. But, I mean, what a way to go out. I mean, the guy is, he's gone out on a high, he's got a fantastic record, and, why prolong it any longer than that?
Let's hope he enjoys his retirement. Alright, that concludes the podcast. My thanks goes to Johnny, as usual.
Right.
And we'll see you again next week. This has been a Paul Ellis production, and goodbye.